Okay, welcome back, guys, and welcome to lesson 32 of Digital Marketing 3, where we'll be doing a case study analysis, specifically focusing on the legal forces influencing the macro environment. But before we do so, can someone give us an overview of what we discussed in the previous lesson? Yes.
So by previous lesson, you mean this one that just passed now?
Yes, that's correct. The one that you just said before the break.
Because I came late, I only know of the protecting your intellectual property and discussing social media platforms and their guidelines.
Okay. And how would that affect digital marketing?
Sir?
How would that affect or influence digital marketing?
I don't think
According to your understanding. According to your understanding, how would
understand the question.
pardon?
I'm saying I don't think I understand the question, sir.
Okay, you've mentioned that you discussed intellectual property.
Yes.
So I'm asking that in your own words, how would intellectual property influence digital marketing?
How would intellectual property influence digital marketing?
Yes.
I think with regards to not having it protected, somebody else stealing your work would have a negative impact on your marketing strategies.
Okay, you mentioned something very crucial here, but I'm sure it wouldn't be such crucial if we are talking about Mjolo. Do you think you have to protect your Mjolo, guys, the same way you protect your content?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
By all costs.
How do you protect it?
By all, Baba.
Can you protect your man, guy? Indoda, can you protect Indoda?
No, you can't protect the person, but rather the relationship you have together.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, how can you do that? Please give me lessons. I need to learn here. I want to protect mine as well.
No, so yours it's on another level. It's a marriage. It's already protected.
Oh, they are the ones that are very unprotected, those ones. Those ones. I'm listening, guys. Please give me advice too.
So you must just be private and always keep an open mind towards the next person.
What do you mean by open mind?
Don't internalize everything that they say. For instance, if a person is coming to you and telling you about how a certain encounter made them feel, it's not necessarily to blame you. So you must not internalize it because a lot of people do that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Mpo, Dr. Love. It's greatly appreciated. Oh, you're laughing while I'm actually being honest with you.
Yes, no, like so she's
I'm praising you that
generally...
tomorrow you can be a doctor, you know?
No, sir. We are
You
pushing it now.
You do not want to be a doctor?
I know.
Or you think you can't be a doctor?
I don't want to be.
So I'm now giving you too much here.
Yes.
Okay, guys, all right. So the reason why I was asking that, and thank you so much for that, Mpo, is that the way you would think you'd protect your relationship or your man, is this also the same way you can protect your content out there? Maybe it would be different features, but the method, the strategy could be the same. Do you know that, guys?
Yes.
So that's why I was asking about that. So we are continuing with the same thing, what we were discussing in the previous lesson. You know, I've heard some saying, I just don't know how to put it in English, but I think you guys also know it. Where they say it is, it is not the water in the boat that makes the boat sink, or it's the external water, something like that.
Yes.
Have you come across something like that, guys?
Yes, I have.
Like, it is not the water in the boat that makes the boat sink, like the ship sink,
Yes.
but it is the external water. Like if the ship has got a hole or a leak, that water is the one that is going to make it sink.
Yes. Yes.
I just know it in vernacular, but that's what you are going to be looking at. Paul said something internally, which means it has affected a lot in relationships. Guys, don't tell me you're single, by the way, because I know there are maybe with 2 or 3. It's just that you just want to make one official. All
No,
right.
sir. We 2, 3.
Paul, yo, let's, Paul, can you repeat your reaction again? I think there are some truth that you are revealing there.
Guys, so you're looking at me.
Yeah, the way you screamed there, I think, I don't know, was it you, Matapel? Because I wasn't looking at the.
I'm shocked.
No, it was Paul, but she was shouting with the fact that she said 2 or 3. So we
Two or
can't have
three.
no, no,
No.
that's too much.
So you think 2 or 3 is too much?
It is.
It
How many
is.
love do you have, Kanti?
I can guarantee you guys are going to heaven if you're saying so, because I haven't come across 2 or 3 being too much. It's actually less for me.
No, sir, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you barely can't even. You see, sir, that's the problem, sir. It goes back to what you're saying that we need to protect our content. So if you have 2 or 3, how are you gonna give your full attention to all of them? You know, so stick to one so that you know how to protect it and not let it sink. That's why they say external other things they will come inside and make the boat sink. Because now you didn't know there was a hole there because you were not looking at that boat. You were looking at another boat at that time.
I do agree with you, Paul, but there are people like influential marketers who've got as many as possible, but they do protect their content. You are here alive on Instagram pushing another brand. You are here alive on Facebook pushing another brand. How do they do it? So if they can do it, it means otherwise you can do it.
No, sir. If you can
How
look
is
at
it
it,
different? How
whatever
is it
they
different in that department?
they pushing they pushing different content, but in the same department. Do I make sense? They're not
Yeah, but
pushing
sometimes
influencers.
it's
If
completely different, like different brands. Like on Instagram, you are pro text, for example. Then on Facebook, you are pushing Coca-Cola.
Yes, but the fact that remains that we is still in the same department. So they cannot do. They can show me one of the influencers that's busy with let me just do a good example. Show me one influencer that's busy with pushing content at the same time they trying to be on a corporate world that they have a work 8 to 5
Mhm.
job, but then they still have to push content. No, sir, because during the day they have to shoot their content what at what. So they
Okay.
cannot they push the content, but it's in the same department, but various things. Not the same thing, but in the same it's like we're in the same. It's like
So
we
same
still in
strategies for
Pitori.
different products. Is that what you say?
Yes, yes, sir, we're still in Pitori, but you in Pitori in town, I mean Mamilodi, or you in Pitori in Hamaskral. But both of us are still in Pitori. I cannot be in Pitori and Northwest and still
Okay.
push the same. You
All
cannot.
right. Okay. What are your thoughts, Mpo? You cannot kill 2 birds with one stone.
If they're not aligned, if they're not aligned, Mpo,
If they're not,
align.
yeah, Yeah, if they're not aligned, then
No,
you can't.
you can't.
It doesn't make sense.
Yes, it's just saying that the influence the content influencers, how are they doing it on Instagram? They're pushing Coca-Cola brand. On TikTok they're pushing maybe the wig brand, or maybe clothes brand Shein, or they're pushing maybe Colgate, the brand
Mm.
Colgate. I'm saying they can do it because it's the same department. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's two different bits, but it's the same department. If it was not the same department, they were not gonna be able to do it. But you can
yeah,
go to work 9 to 5,
But
be a content
listen, guys.
creator, because during the weekday you still need to do the thing. You will never be able to protect all of them.
yeah.
I
I get you.
understand you guys, but look at Lionel Messi. He's a professional soccer star. He's also a brand ambassador for pets,
Who's
and he's a brand ambassador for Lay's, those chips called Lay's.
who?
Lionel Messi.
Yes.
So there are three things that is doing.
And look at it. Remember? Yes. Thank God that you make him an example. Remember when Lace? You remember when? Is it Qatar when there was a World Cup?
Yes,
Is
yes.
is
It
it
was,
last year or
yeah.
last year? Somewhere there. When Lace wanted to now to showcase their new, what you call, their new flavors and everything, they couldn't be able to get hold of him. They need to use someone else because he was not available. You see, you cannot shoot two bears that are not in the same
Okay.
line.
So now the problem is availability. I thought you were going to say attention because you guys always complain for attention.
No, it's not even for attention there. This one is different. Now it
Okay.
goes back to attention. You're telling the truth because now this guy couldn't give Lace attention but could give soccer attention. And at the same time the Lace also wanted to showcase their new brand. They need to take someone else to showcase their new brand because this one now doesn't have their attention, doesn't have their time. You see, you
Okay.
cannot.
All right, but you cannot always have time at all the times, eh?
You
Even if
see,
you're not pushing two, even if you're only pushing one,
no, so
you
if you
can be
push
overwhelmed.
one, you have time. You concentrate, you focus.
All right. Okay, guys, let's move on. So we continue understanding the digital macro environment, and we are focusing on the legal aspects of the digital macro environment. So you need to be able to identify the legal forces of the digital market environment. We spoke about that, and we are going to do a case study. So the key terms are still the same. They are still the same: ethical standards, privacy, identity theft, personal data, and malware. All right. Before we move on to the next exercise, have you been in a situation where your social media account has been completely overtaken by someone else?
No.
All of a sudden, you can't log in your Facebook account and someone is posting something else.
I have never, but I've seen people post about, oh guys, I've been hacked. Please do not give them attention. Don't give them money. But I've never experienced that.
Okay. Paul? I need Solomon. All right. So, from a legal perspective, what steps should be considered by digital marketing when mining customer data? So, when getting customer information, what steps should be considered by digital marketers?
Sir, can you please repeat your question?
When collecting customer information, what steps should be considered by digital marketers?
We should protect their information. Say it should not be linked. It should not be easy to hack it. It should not be easy for someone else that it's not them to like personally be able to log in into their logs and know how to log in. I feel like we should have a more strict security.
Okay. But how do you collect that information in the first place before we talk about security? Do you tell them that you need
Also,
this information for A, B, C, D, or you just ask for the information? Will you tell them the purpose of the information and
no, we
how
just
that information is going to be stored?
no we. I don't think we do say they do say that how we do say how we're gonna be storing your information, but I'm not sure about because we I think we're using the same way of wanting information. For example, if nowadays if you I was trying to download this other app recently, and it asked me things that I didn't even know about myself. It asked me my height, my weight before I can even get access to the app. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They're trying to collect
Yes.
information about me, know a lot about
Mm.
me before I can get into app. But if I am really eager to wanna use the app, I'll definitely go and fill in everything they ask of me. But if I'm not eager, I just let it go.
So can you put fake information there since they're asking you about your height and your weight?
I think you do because some of us we for example, I won't be just because you guys ask me my height now. I need to stand up,
Mm.
shape myself. No, I'll just guess, which is fake
Okay.
information.
All right. And when
So
someone
is it
asks for,
fake? Is it fake or is it not accurate?
no, I hear you. Remember, we are both learning here.
Yes, sir.
So I cannot say whether you're wrong or correct. Unless if it's in the F1, I'm definitely going to tell you that you're wrong because I won't put marks there. But for now, it's a discussion. So we'll get to that once we go to the theoretical unpacking of that. Uh, when someone is asking for a number, do you tell them why do you want my number, or you just give it to them?
Okay, most of the time the apps that looking for my number. If you're asking for apps or a person will ask you why do you want my number. If I know me and you we don't have anything to discuss, but if like we spoke about something and you like maybe for example we spoke about I'm looking for that buzzer, I'm looking for that job. You're like oh yeah you can pass me your number. In my mind I already know I'm passing you my number because whenever you hear about that buzzer or that job you need to come back and tell me. But if it's an app and they ask for my numbers, most of the time I will know that they're asking for my numbers because maybe I am gonna be buying from that app or something. They can't be asking my number if I'm not gonna be or if I don't want any information from them in return.
Okay. And Paul,
Paul is not here, sir. Paul left us with
I
the
can
phone.
see that.
Where did I go? I'm
I don't
here.
know.
No, she wants us to gossip. Then all of a sudden, like, oh, you guys, man, we
No,
won't,
sir.
we won't do that.
What's the question?
We won't do that.
Ask the question, sir.
I was saying that, what did I say, Matabel, by the way? I just forgot about the number.
You ask do you, when someone asks for your number or when an app asks
Yes,
for
yes, yes.
you ask why.
Yeah,
Hmm.
do you ask the person, why do you want my number, or just give out the number? You just say,
I ask.
okay,
Hmm.
imagine at Bree, ufuna le number.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And you know that, having a solid database in digital marketing is actually the biggest asset because we need is, much customer insight as possible. So there are always rules or regulations in place on how customer data is mined. For example, as a customer, if a brand is asking for your address, you wouldn't just give out that address unless you know that this address is going to be used for a delivery. Like there's something that I want them to deliver to me, right?
Hmm.
So that's the reason why I was asking you guys like whether you give out your number or not, if you know the purpose. So it is the same thing with brands. There are certain information, especially the information that that this is relevant to the transaction that I'm going to have with this brand. So, for example, if it's an exercise or a fitness app, they are definitely going to ask for your weight. They are definitely going to ask for your height, and all these things that are sort of like cardiovascular that require some exercise and stuff like that. But if they ask for information that that has got nothing to do with their business and your business of engaging with them, then you cannot give out that information. Is it so? As customers, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there are many laws that are aimed at protecting personal data. I think I mentioned Poppy Act earlier on, and I encourage you guys to go and read, extensively on Poppy Act. All right, let's have a case study on data breach. So we are going to have a look at this, then we'll discuss the questions that follow. Just going to share it on the screen. So this is the case study that I'd like us to go through. Can you see that?
Yes, sir. We can see. Mpo, you can
Okay.
see, right?
Yes, sir.
So South African banks caught up in a ransomware attack on debt collector. So this was by Admire Moyo from IT Web. It was reported on the 23rd of September 2021. South African banks have acknowledged some of their customers' data was compromised by the cyber attack on debt recovery solution provider, Debt In Consultants. IT Web yesterday reported that debt collector Debt In was hit by a ransom attack, which exposed as much as 1.4 million personal records of South Africans. Debt In, a debt recovery solution partner to many South African financial services institutions, said the ransomware attack by cyber criminals resulted in a significant data breach of consumer and employee personal information. FNB, ABSA, Standard Bank, and African Bank are some of the financial institutions that make use of debt-in services and have confirmed the impact of the cyber attack on their businesses. The debt collector believes it was attacked in April, but only discovered the breach last week, about 5 months later, says FNB in a statement to ITWeb. FNB has been made aware of a data breach that has impacted Debt-In, a third-party provider of debt recovery services. The bank takes the protection of consumer information and privacy very seriously. As a result, we are communicating directly to customers whose information may have been exposed. Furthermore, we are exercising our legislative obligations in line with data privacy and protection guidelines. Repairing the rupture. ABSA notes it is aware of the breach, which includes a small portion of its customer data and voice recordings. ABSA is working closely with the third party to investigate the cause of the breach and prevent any further data being exposed as a result of this incident. Furthermore, the bank has taken additional precautions and has heightened monitoring of these customer accounts. Specifically, all ABSA's customer information from the service provider has been recalled and all data transfers has been suspended with immediate effect. An independent review of the service provider's IT environment has also been initiated ABSA will notify impacted customers directly. The big four banks say customers who suspect suspicious activity are requested to contact the ABSA fraud hotline instead. As an added measure, ABSA also offers a free digital fraud warranty for customers using our mobile app, says the bank. Yesterday, African Bank issued a statement confirming Get-In was targeted by sophisticated cyber criminals in April. African Bank notes that at the time, expert security advice concluded there was no evidence the ransomware attack has resulted in a data breach. It adds that Get-In is now aware that personal data of certain customers, including a number of ABSA loan customers under debt review, has been compromised. According to the bank, Get-In is confident no data shared post 1 April 2021 has been compromised. A robust mitigation plan has been implemented by Get-In to contain and reduce any further adverse impact. It notes, we have been collaborating with Get-In to address this breach, says Piet Swanepoel, Chief Risk Officer of African Bank. We have notified the relevant regulatory authorities, and we are also in the process of alerting customers who have been affected via email and SMS. As an additional precautionary step, African Bank's fraud prevention team has enhanced security measures to protect all customers, says the bank. Standard Bank says it is treating this incident and the investigation surrounding it with the utmost priority while working closely with Get-In, the relevant authorities in the South African Banking Risk Information Center, the Southern African Fraud Prevention Service, and the Banking Association of South Africa to mitigate any potential impact. We apologize for the anxiety that this incident is causing our impacted clients. We would also like to ensure them that if they have not been contacted by the Standard Bank, they have not been impacted. Standard Bank is doing everything possible to ensure that our clients are protected from potential fraudulent use of personal information. We have already proactively stepped up our authentication processes and our fraud prevention and detection strategies to protect our clients. The bank says should clients suspect that their bank accounts or cards have been compromised, please contact them with this number or relationship managers directly. Nedbank, on the other hand, says it has not been impacted. A worrying trend. The South African Fraud Prevention Service comments that since government imposed the national lockdown, there has been a significant move towards social distancing and essential services within the financial service industry have moved online. Criminals have also moved online, says the CEO of SAFPS. It is estimated that there are 17 billion cyber attacks that take place around the world every day. And according to SAFPS, over the past 2 years, most South African companies have been reporting they have been victims of cyber attacks and data breaches. This includes Experian, ABSA, Transnet. In the Experian and ABSA breaches, personal information of consumers were compromised, it says. The Department of Justice and Constitutional Development was also recently hit by a ransomware attack, which resulted in all electronic services provided by the department being affected, including the issuing of letters of authority, bureau services, email, and departmental website. Also this month, the South African National Space Agency, a government agency responsible for the promotion and development of aeronautics and aerospace space in research in South Africa, notified the public of a breach to its IT system. The executive head of Secure Citizen, an entity created through collaboration with the SAFPS and OneVote, in response to a rapid growth in identity theft following online fraud, says, fraudsters do not discriminate. As we continuously move towards the adoption of digital and, more importantly, touchless era, the platform of fraud increases. Thanks to an increase in data breaches, fraudsters are motivated and are armed with the correct information, meaning they are very capable of impersonating an individual. The impact of this are catastrophic. So the debt in data breach is concerning as the records of 1.4 million South Africans have been compromised in a country where identity fraud is common practice. This is extremely concerning. It is critical that consumers act now before significant fraud is unknowingly committed on their behalf. All right. So as bank customers, how do you feel, guys, after reading this?
So we don't feel safe.
I know Nkama wouldn't be worried, especially if every month the bank balance is 2 rand.
Very funny.
Let's be honest, guys. Would you be concerned with a data breach as a bank customer if there's always 2 rand there? Matapelo, are you there?
I am here, sir. I'm just thinking, sir, that like I'm just rethinking of this thing. I went to Google something. Sir, Mara, how did this happen? Is it because they were lacking strong security, or is it an inside job? Like, I'm just wondering. Like, I have so many questions.
Truly speaking, I also don't know, and I'm also wondering, just like you. But it's just like any house breaking. You know? House breaking does take place, whether the house is empty or not. Of
Yes, but
course,
most
you
of
know,
the time, sir,
criminals they've got intel before. Otherwise,
yes,
wasted
housebreaking usually
it would
happen
be
because
wasted energy to break in something that is nothing.
most of the time
So
house.
there is value in data breaches, I guess.
But then now this is so scary. It means that these people had like these people that just had the ability to just go through anyone's information and gather it and even use it. To what
Yeah,
extent we don't know.
it's very huge. It's very huge, honestly. Imagine if there's a data breach that includes people's physical addresses. You know, then all of a sudden you can be located by anyone. So it is very huge. Anyway, so based on what we've just read there, what are the impacts of cyber attacks on their brands and business operations? So all the brands that were mentioned in that article, FNB, Nedbank, Standard Bank, do you think there are any impacts, any cyber attack impact and on their operations and the brand itself?
Sir, please repeat the question.
So I'm asking, what are the impacts of cyber attack on FNB, Standard Bank, and all other financial institutions? So what is the impact of cyber attacks on their brand and their operations as businesses? So I'm asking, do you think this breach should concern these banks?
Yes.
Why?
So they can experience financial losses, reputational damage, and also face like, what do they call them? Regulatory penalties.
Yeah, that's very true. And there's also one thing that you left out there. Do you know
And
that there
also
is also
distrust from their customers.
there's also ransom that these criminals demand? Do you know that, guys?
No, sir, I didn't.
Yes, you can go and read about it. Like there's so much ransom that cyber criminals demand, and the amounts are always huge, very huge, that it can even lead to the collapse of the business because they've got something very sensitive or very important that they can sort of like blackmail you with. It's happening all over the world. You just go and have a search on Google about data breaches, then you are going to find very shocking information out there, especially the amounts that cyber criminals demand when they've penetrated the whole system of an organization. Stuff like that. And what are the legal steps that South African banks should take before a data breach occurs? So what is it that needs to be done?
Sir, please repeat the question.
So what is it that banks need to do before a data breach occurs? Remember, a data breach did not occur with banks. It occurred with a third party, which is contracted with banks. Did you see that?
Yes, yes, sir.
So what is it that needs to be done?
Sir, I think they can comply with like the relevant regulations to ensure that the security is like tight.
They actually share. They actually do share the intelligence because they are under the same association. As you saw that there's, I think, South African Banking Association or something like that.
Yes, sir.
Remember, as competitors, you can also collaborate and protect each other from external threats. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
So as much as you think that FNB and Standard Bank are enemies, but there are instances where they actually unite, especially when it comes to cyber attacks and even share intelligence that is banking related. So as a customer of any brand, does a data breach concern you at all?
Yes.
Why does it concern you?
Because a lot of things can be done with your personal information. And also there's the is it a Poppy Act? There's also that. So
That's true. There's plenty, guys. What else? Don't act as if your mics are not working.
maybe they went somewhere.
Yeah, since it's two of them.
No,
I
sir.
like I like
I'm
your
still
thinking,
here.
Paul.
I'm still here, sir.
Also, just came back because Paul said went somewhere with Nkamohele.
No,
So
sir.
you actually don't want to go somewhere with Nkamohele. Okay.
No, sir. I'm definitely here. I've been here, sir.
Okay. All right, guys. What else can concern you as a customer when it comes to a data breach?
For me, is the most question is, after you guys use my information, what happens to my information? Where do you guys put it? Like, where do you store it? Do you erase it because we already did whatever we wanted to do? Maybe let's say I already bought whatever I wanted to buy and the breach is done. Do you guys delete the information or you keep it somewhere else?
Yeah, it's a big concern, that one. The same thing with the information that you delete in your gadgets, be it in your phone, in your laptop. Have you ever wondered, like, where are the things that are emptied in your recycle bin go?
Yes, sir. I have wondered. Actually, I have wondered a lot
The
of times.
pictures in your phone, when you delete them, do you know where they are actually going? Where is the information? Like, do they actually go to the actual trash bin the same way we throw out stuff, at home, then pick it up, comes, to go to a land field, stuff like that. Like, who has got this information that has been said permanently delete to where?
So I don't know, but
Very
I
tricky.
do know that there's a system of some sort that stores all the things that you delete. Like you can't see them, but they're still there.
That's why sometimes you can restore data.
Yes.
Okay. We've got this new trend nowadays of gaining access to our platforms. Some call it a multi-factor authentication, and some they call it a two-way verification. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you
Yes.
want to log in on Facebook, you need to receive a PIN via SMS. Already you've put your password. Now you need to key in a PIN, or you need to use a fingerprint. So does it inconvenience you as a customer?
So what did you say?
The two-way verification, does it inconvenience you?
No, it doesn't.
But I like it, Umpone. Let me say why I like it. Because it makes you feel like, okay, they kind of like street. Your information is still safe. No one can log in, not you. You feel safe. It's not convenient, but you feel like you kind of feel safe, even though you know that this data world is not safe. But when they do that, they giving you I don't know, something like, who I don't know, like like a chill pill.
Okay, I do get you, Matapero. The fact that you need to go through these brick walls in order to access your own account, I feel like it's an inconvenience for me. But understanding this world of cyberspace with cyber criminals, sometimes it just make me feel safe. But this thing that I want to log on Facebook now, I have to go and check my email that a pin has been sent, and sometimes you don't even have data to access those emails to get that pin. You know, it is an inconvenience, but you actually know that you are safe because anyone can steal your password or anyone can steal your pin, but it's rare for someone to steal both. And sometimes you can just receive a pin from nowhere saying that this is a pin for this and that. When you did not request it, you can actually see that someone is trying to access your account.
Yes, it happens to me a lot with iCloud. It will show me a pin that it will say my other iPhone is doing something that I'm like wondering what other iPhone, like very confused.
Mm, yeah, that's true. So that's why guys, the multi-factor authentication is actually growing. Almost almost most apps, applications, accounts that you sign up, even on Take a Lot, it either asks you, to fill in that captcha or to put a pin that has been sent to you. But banks mostly they will send an OTP or a pin before payment is made. Those are some of the measures that organizations are putting to avoid things such as breaches and fraud, identity theft, and so on. Okay, that was the exercise, guys. So you need to know that many laws aim to prevent unethical digital marketing practices. So marketing professionals must understand and work within this regulatory framework. Okay? Laws are open to interpretations and there are many legal and unethical considerations in the online trading environment. But you also need to know that in order to remain competitive, you need to have ethical practices. There are no shortcuts to this. Of course, there are some people who always want to cheat their way. You know, you copy someone's digital strategy, copy and paste, you do not recognize their work. Then all of a sudden you're in trouble. You just realize that that campaign is not performing the same way it performed to the, you know, the originator of that strategy. So these are the things that you need to consider when looking at the legal forces influencing the digital macro environment. Are there any comments or any questions?
On my side, I don't have any questions, sir, or any comments, sir.
Let's hear others. What about others? And Mr. Radebe. All right, guys. So far on the pestle, we have looked at economic forces. We have looked at political forces. The links are there on core campus. Today, we looked at legal forces and we did a case study. On Thursday, we are going to look at social forces of the digital macro environment. There is class on Thursday, guys. Easter starts on Friday, so there's a class on Thursday. We're going to meet on Thursday and discuss the social forces, do a case study analysis for the social forces. Then I'm going to have a pre-recorded session for you guys on Friday, since on Friday is going to be a public holiday. Any housekeeping that you guys would like to discuss before we call it a day?
No, not on my side.